Okay, so now we are going to go into the instructions for the article review assignments. Again, one of these will be due each week. So what I'm going to do is essentially walk you through how you should do this assignment. And so here are the instructions. It's a Word document that you should, of course, open and then download. So that's step one, is actually read the instructions or look at the instructions. And I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to create a new blank document. And so you pay close attention or do whatever you're doing, but be sure that you watch this video so that you'll really get an idea of how to best complete this assignment. So I'm just going to give you some pointers for success here. So the main objective is for you to collect and read 10 geography-related articles, either from the newspaper, online, or what have you. And so the first thing that you should do in setting up your assignment is to add the pertinent information to the page, which includes your name. So I'm going to be me. There's your name. And then the first one will be article number 1. And then your major. So my major was geoscience. And then last but certainly not least, see, article number, the date, yes, the date. And so today is September 15, 2020. So that's how you'll start off the assignment. Okay, so notice your major and or career plans must be part of this assignment. So I'm going to pause the recording for a moment. Okay, now we've resumed recording and we're going to go through the rest of the instructions. So your next objective is to find an article. And so just to make this simpler, I'm going to show you how you should search for an article. The article has to be related, or the articles have to be related to your major or your career goals, or both, and geography. Okay, so I know you might be thinking, that's not related to my major, I can't do this. But let's go to Google. I'm just going to kind of run through some of your, so just go to Google, and let's say, let's look at some possibilities for Lopez. So say oral, well, there's one, oral health needs index. I'm just going to show you this as an example. Now, this is not necessarily an article, but this is the oral health needs index. And so this is a project that I worked on, that my consulting firm helped to develop. So this was a $300,000 project that my consulting firm worked on in collaboration with others. The objective of this project was to look at oral health needs for vulnerable populations. We might assume that everybody gets to go to the dentist. That's not true. And what's really critical about that is if children don't see a dentist until they're 6 years old, and that's a lot of children, especially children who are in lower income areas, we now know that that can be problematic. That is not seeing a dentist until age of 6, because we now know that oral health is connected to cardiovascular health, is connected to diabetes. What's happening with your teeth has a significant has a strong relationship with what's happening with the rest of your body, right? And so it's really important that especially children get to see dentists early. But do all kids get to see dentists early? No, largely because of the way the system is and social structures. And so the Oral Health Needs Index project was brought to me by insurance companies, dental insurance companies who had the capacity to reach out to these children and provide them with dental care, right? But people who are dentists don't necessarily know how to find these vulnerable at-risk populations. What they need in order to find these populations, well, they needed a map. Who makes maps? Geographers and cartographers. So that's why they came to me. So this was a $300,000 project where we developed a series of maps to help oral health professionals find locations, of patients who are in greater need, especially children. So yes, there is a direct relationship between oral health. So if you did oral health geography, oral health geography index, you'll get lots of articles related to oral health disparities, geographic information systems and assessing dental health. So I'm sure perhaps that Lopez was probably thinking, well, there's no relationship between my major and geography, but there's absolutely a relationship between oral health and geography. And there are lots of articles like this one that focus upon applications of geographic information, that focus upon geographic information systems applications in closing health equity gaps and assisting oral health professionals in providing dental care to everyone, regardless of income, race, so on and so forth. So, so if you happen to be, well, it's just Lopez's only dental hygiene major in the class, that's a path that she could take. Let's look at some other people. Let me try to keep that one up. Let me see if I can get in here. Okay. So let's see. We have a biology major who wants to be a doctor, and we have a public health major who wants to be a nurse. So if you Google health geography, just look at the relationship between geography and health. Again, you will get tons and tons of articles. I'm sure that you all have heard that your health is more closely related to your zip code than your DNA. That's what the public health community is starting to realize. And so there's health geography. There's another search that you might do, social determinants of health. And so social determinants of health are comprised of direct relationships between things like demography. So remember, demography is one of your vocabulary words. Demography is the study of population. So when we start to look at demographics in health, doing so allows health professionals to design interventions for any number of health problems. And so it's, so there's a direct relationship between geography and health, especially when we start to look at social determinants of health, which are really closely related to human geography and demographics and census data and all of that. So for Morgan and Kay Williams, you can take that approach. Or even Morgan might look up biogeography. So there's a whole discipline of biogeography, and you might look at biogeography and health, perhaps. And so those are various search keys that you can use to get to articles that might be of interest to you as a future health professional. There's a direct relationship between geography and disease. So this COVID-19 is a pandemic. Okay, so a pandemic is geographically a disease that is all over the world. That's a pandemic. So how is a pandemic different from an epidemic? An epidemic disease spreads very quickly within a region. So an epidemic tends to be regional and it spreads very quickly. Like say the Ebola virus would be an epidemic, right? In some cases, you can have an influenza epidemic during certain years where the flu really spreads quickly through a population, right? Then there's another term called endemic. A disease is endemic if it spreads slowly throughout a specific region, not quickly, but slowly, and it's kind of always there. So a disease like malaria is endemic to the tropical regions of the world. And that's because the vector for malaria is the mosquito. And so those mosquitoes can survive in those warm temperatures. And so there's always a threat of malaria in the tropical region pretty much all the time. But because the malaria is spread by a mosquito vector and not human to human, it doesn't spread as quickly. So it's not really an epidemic disease, it's more endemic. So there's a direct relationship between geography and disease. Pandemic, global; epidemic, small area, region, spreads quickly; endemic, specific region, there all the time, spreads slowly. So there's a direct relationship between geography and disease. Let's see. So we have, let's see, how many engineers we got? Well, we got ag science and 2 engineering majors. Now, for the civil engineering major, who is that? That is Cromwell. That's easy. Civil engineering and GIS and some other term, and you'll get tons and tons and tons of flood hazard mapping, flood management, 30 GIS uses in civil engineering. So civil engineering and remote sensing. If you are a civil engineering major, you have to have some form of experience with geographic information systems before you graduate. So that is very important. You do not want to be a civil engineering major and be interviewing for an internship or a job and have someone ask you, have you had any experience with GIS? And the answer is, you don't want to be that person. So civil engineering, GIS, and so there's all kinds of strong relationship between civil engineering and GIS. Now, electrical engineering, yes and no. It's going to be kind of limited. You might just want to stick to engineering in general. So electrical engineering, let's see what we get. Electrical engineering, GIS, let's see. Yeah, I guess we're starting to see some, there it is, power systems, applications of GIS and power systems. So we might look at, so there's a lot more. So geographic information systems is starting to really integrate into electrical engineering more and more. So it's not a strong relationship, but you can find articles. Let's see, I got 33,700,000 results for the key terms, electrical engineering and GIS, and that would be for Johnson G. And let's see who's left. And of course, Parrish, of course, precision agriculture involves in GIS. And so you have a precision agriculture, GIS, tons and tons of articles here. So there's a direct relationship between geographic information systems and precision agriculture, remote sensing, and all of that. And just as an example of precision agriculture is where we would use remote sensing on a crop field to see perhaps which plants need water the most. And so the watering devices can be designed to focus upon the parts of the crop field where water is needed the most. So of course, at the end of the day, you end up saving water. So instead of watering the whole field, you really target those places that need either water or herbicides or pesticides or fertilizer most, as opposed to applying those substances to the whole field. And so precision agriculture is directly associated with geographic information systems. So there's just tons and tons of articles about precision agriculture, agricultural technology, and GPS. So that's an easy one. And as a matter of fact, the TSU's geographic information systems graduate programs are based in the College of Agriculture. But
yeah, I have like scholarships for my major, a lot.
Excuse me?
I was saying like, yeah, it's a lot of scholarships for TSU for my major.
Yes, and so if you, so Dr. Reginald Archer teaches the GIS course in the Department of Agriculture, I think every semester. So if you don't take my class, take his class, but get some GIS experience before you graduate. And as a matter of fact, where is Parrish? So Parrish, are you familiar with an organization called Manners?
No, sir.
Yeah, Manners is Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences, Manners. We have a Manners chapter on campus at Tennessee State. I used to be the GIS trainer for Manners for years back in the day. So yes,
Cool.
it's Manners. Let me just, you should, yeah, it's fine.
You think maybe when I'm like a sophomore or junior, I'll take it?
That you'll join Manners as a
Yeah,
no.
or it's something I have to join myself.
Yeah, you can join Manners now. I know we have a chapter at TSU. I know we do. So here's Manners. This is a very good organization. And I know we have a chapter at TSU. They go to the Manners. Let's see, Dr. Dietra Young. Do you know who she is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look her up. Dietra Young, DE''ETRA Young, Dr. Young, or Dr. Reginald Archer, either one of those two people. But definitely, I think Dr. Young is the advisor for Manners for TSU. But she's over there in the College of Agriculture. But yeah, you can join Manners like right away. They have scholarships. See, they have scholarships. One day we'll be able to travel again, go to the Manners meeting instead of these virtual meetings that we've been going to that are kind of a drag. Okay, so I think that covers everybody except, of course, for the teachers. And again, I like teachers. My mother was a teacher for 40 years, so I'm not going to leave you teachers out. So, but let me first finish up with the everyone else. So just hold on to that. I'll go to the teachers next. Now, the education majors, on the other hand, you all can find just about any article that relates to anything related to geography. So you don't have to necessarily emphasize upon articles that focus upon teaching. Now you could, there's a huge field called geography education that, there are tons and tons of articles about geography education and on 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 and on. But you don't necessarily have to find an article that focuses directly upon geography education. Okay, so just understand that education majors or people who are planning careers in teaching, it's like, I think Scott is majoring in arts and sciences, but she plans on being a teacher. So if you are planning to have a teaching career, you will fall into this step that I'm going to get to in a minute. And then everybody else has to do the other number 4. But let me just walk you through this. So, okay, so you have, just wanted to make a note of that. So you've
So
got,
you want us to post the article, or you want us to just read it and summarize?
oh yeah, I'm going through, I'm going through the instructions
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
So, okay, so let's say, so now I'm going to pretend to be you, a student. So this is me, Dave Padgett. This is my first article, Geoscience. So my next step is to find an article. So I'm going to find an article about Hurricane Sally, concerned about Hurricane Sally. And let's see where CNN. Let's see if I can find something. Okay, New York Times. Do I want that? CBS News. NPR. Now let's go to CBS News. No, I don't want that either. Washington Post. Okay, here we go. Washington Post. That's a good source. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is, now that I've found my article that is related to my major, which is geoscience, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is I have to, well, really is cite the article. You can use Chicago style, MLA style, APA style, or what have you. Now, in the instructions, if you notice, I have given you an MLA style guide here, or Modern Language Association style guide. And so I'm going to download that. So this is just to help you to do the citations. It's a really easy guide. Okay, so this is an article from, a newspaper in this case, or you could find an article in a journal or magazine, but this is an internet newspaper article format. Okay, so where is my article? Where's my article? Come on. Okay, Hurricane Sally. Okay, so I have 2 authors here. Same Now J. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do the citation. Okay, Same Now J. And the second author is Andrew Freeman. Okay, so that's my author. So if you go back to the instructions, notice author's last name, author's first name. This has 2 authors. So the second author is first name, last name. Okay, period. Title of the article. So the title of my article is Live Updates. Hurricane Sally begins prolonged assault along northern Gulf Coast with historic flooding forecast. That is not good. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to do a paste special, unformatted text so it doesn't blow up my format. Then I need to put that in quotes. So there that is. So, okay, now what do I need next? Let me go back to my instructions. Okay, the name of the publication, and I believe this is the Washington Post. Yes, it is the Washington Post. So I'm going to do Washington Post, and I'm going to put that in italics. Next, there. So now that's in italics. Take the italics off for the rest of it. Okay, next. So I've got my author's last name, first name, title of the article, now the date. And so the date of the article should be today. So there's the date, September 15th. So let me look at my format here. 15 September 2020. Period, or I think there's a period. Let me just make sure. No, there's a colon there. It should be a colon there, not a period. And so there's no page number, of course, because it's online, unless there's a page number indicated. Next, we just put the word online, period, because now we know this is an online article, period. Available. Now we get, when this is when I access the article. Available, I believe there's a colon. Yes, available. Colon. Now I paste the URL here. Go here, here, get the URL from here. Right click, copy, back here, here. And now again, I'm going to paste special, unformatted text, make the link live. And now the last thing that I need to include, of course, is the date accessed, which is also in this case 15 September 2020.
How do you make the link live?
Oh, you just let's see, just space in Word, and it just turns it on.
Space in Word?
Yeah, see, it's off. If I take one space after the last part of the link, like that, it makes it live.
Okay.
Okay, so what's today is 15 September 2020. And let me make sure my formatting is correct. Yeah. So that's the date of access. Okay. So that's why it says, online available. Because sometimes, I'm sure this has happened to all of you all. You found an article maybe a month ago and you saved the link and then you went back to the link and it was gone. That's just the nature of internet sources. They can be there one day and gone the next. So if someone is using your citation to try to find an article that you found and the link has disappeared, this lets them know, hey, it was there on September 15th. Now, what happens after that? Who knows? So that's just the nature of internet sources. They can be here one day and gone the next. Okay, so you cited your article. Okay, so and there's citation. We've already put this in there. So next you have to write your essay, 150 to 200 words. Now remember, for my class, 150 to 200 words is a minimum requirement. That's the least amount of words that I would like to see. Don't get the 150 words and stop. Don't get the 200 words and stop. Feel free, 200, 250, 300 words, no problem. Okay, that 150 to 200 is a minimum expectation. Just remember that. Okay, so now you write your essay, summarizing the article's contents. And so let's see, I'm supposed to be me. If I were you, I would write this article. I would write this essay in first person. It just makes it easier. It makes it easier to flow. Say this week I found an article about, well, I guess it's now Hurricane Sally that was very concerning to me. Let's see what I can. The storm is predicted to drop up to 20 inches of precipitation in cities along the Gulf Coast region, which will likely result in significant flooding. And then you keep going, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. So you continue summarizing the article in your own words. And then, so I'm going to do both. So as a geoscience major, here's what I would do next. And then I'm going to do education. I'm going to do non-future teachers first. So now you must add a few sentences explaining in detail how the content of the article is related to your career goals. And I might say, the content of this article is related to my career goals in geoscience because meteorology is a subfield within geoscience. Meteorology includes or analysis of the global atmospheric and hydrologic systems, period, blah, 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 etc., etc. Okay, so next, well, what if I was so this is if you were not a teacher, okay? So this is geoscience, this is a person that's not a teacher. Now, if I'm going to be a future teacher, this is what I would do for number 4. If you're a future teacher, well, wait a minute, I'm not finished. Let me just go back, I'm not finished. Okay, so if you're not a future teacher, I'm sorry, I'm rushing. Next, you should go, must go into Tiger Track. What is Tiger Track? Tiger Track is a portal or service that you're paying for at Tennessee State University that includes internships, graduate program information, scholarships, job announcements. And so Tiger Track, you should just go here and create a Tiger Track account. And so you might be able to find scholarship money for next semester. If you're thinking right now, Lord, how am I going to pay for spring semester? It might be in Tiger Track. I need an internship. Where can I get an internship? It might be in Tiger Track. So what you should, I'm not going to do it because I'm not a student, so I can't get a Tiger Track account. But if you look in Tiger Track and you cannot find a job opportunity or internship or scholarship that is directly related to the article and your career plans, then you can go to a resource such as Indeed.com. So I'm going to use Indeed.com. And so I'm going to look for job in weather forecaster, see, and I'm going to search. And let's see, I've got, Vegas, weather forecaster 3 in Vegas. Oh yeah, let me click on that. There's one in Meridian, Mississippi, but I think I'd rather be in Vegas. Vegas weather forecaster. Okay, so now next I would say I found an exciting career opportunity. And then we go here, weather forecaster 3. weather forecaster 3. Let's see, who's the job with? Let's see, J4T, JT4, whatever that stands. 3 with the JT4 company in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then, oh, sorry, on Indeed.com. Space. Next, you'll want to add the link to the opportunities. So let's see, I can either, let's see if I go here, if it'll take me to the direct. Okay, so this is taking me right to the link to apply for the job. That's what I want. Take it, this link, copy, boom, 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 paste special, unformatted text, bam. And there it is. So there is your career opportunity. Again, that's all you need to do if you are not planning a career in teaching. Okay, now I can go to the teachers. So if you are an education major or planning a career in teaching, instead of doing what I just did, you will do this. You will add a few sentences to your essay explaining to which of the 18 national standards for teaching K through 12 geography the article is most closely related. So let's say, let's go here, 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 and here are the 18 national standards for teaching geography. So if you are going into education, get used to teaching standards. Standards are basically a way of normalizing the way subjects are taught nationally or regionally or within a state, okay? So for example, there are Tennessee state standards for teaching every subject, so that every school in Tennessee is about on the same page in terms of how to teach math, biology, English, so on and so forth. You know, there are certain books that we use in Tennessee. There's a certain approach that we use in Tennessee. You know, those are teaching standards. So if you're going into education, get used to these standards. These are the standards for teaching geography at the K through 12 level. And so if you notice here, they are, there are 18 of them. And so after you find your article, so let's say this is the article, well, no, the article you found was about Hurricane Sally. And the question is, hurricanes, this article is most closely related to which one of these 18 standards? So let's see. Number one is how to use maps and other geographic representations. Well, it could be related to more than one standard, you know. So but this is really a physical system. A hurricane is a physical system, and so probably the standard number 7 is most closely related to this article. And so I would say, let's see, physical process to shape the Earth's surface. I just want to copy the text. Boom, boom, boom. So let's say I'm a teacher. You could say my article is most closely related to standard 7. And then that is boom, paste special, unformatted text. The physical processes that shape the Earth's surface, because, so you have to explain why, because hurricanes and tropical storms well, let's just say tropical storms. A hurricane is a type of tropical storm, because tropical storms such as Hurricane Sally will have significant impacts upon the beaches where it makes landfall. Boom. And so that's basically, I'm going to call you a pre-service teachers. Just as a note to you, this is what you will do if you're a pre-service teacher. Just find, you know, just, it could be just one sentence explaining so that you'll know who does what. Anybody who's not planning a career in teaching, do that step. Other ones, you do that step. Okay, so that takes us to number 5 in the instructions. You must, in your summary, you must include at least one reference from the Bradshaw textbook. And so that's pretty easy. Let's go here. This is, everybody does this. Textbook reference. Very simple to do this. Go here, boom, boom, boom. Hopefully your textbook is showing up today. Come on, textbook. Yes. Go to the textbook. And this can be just a general reference. And because I'm kind of in a hurry, I'm going to take a shortcut. Should never do that. But notice, well, let's do this. I can't take a shortcut. So we're talking about a hurricane, so you can just type in hurricane, just type in a key term, boom, search results. And here you have a reference here. And so here's how you could do this reference. You could say at section 1.1 in the Bradshaw textbook, so I'll know what textbook it is. A reference is made to Hurricane Katrina. Boom. And then we go back here and it says, so you can take a direct quote like this. But of course, if it's a quote from the textbook, you must make sure that it is a quote. Same deal, paste special, unformatted text, boom. And so now we know that that textbook reference came from section 1.1 in the Bradshaw textbook. And then last, but certainly not least, you must include 3 to 5 keywords, either in bold print or you can just list the keywords. A keyword is a word or phrase that speaks to the core theme of your article, okay? So you can just do here, key words. One keyword would obviously be Hurricane Sally. Another keyword might be tropical storm. Where is this storm occurring? Gulf Coast region, US. So a good keyword is always where the article, what is the location the article covers geographically. So this storm is happening in the Gulf Coast region of the US. Another keyword would obviously be meteorology, weather hazard. So a keyword is a word that speaks to the core theme of the article, or the core or main topic of the article. That would be your keyword. And so then that's it. You know, that's it. That's number 7. Just as a note, if you want to find geography related articles, there are geography related articles posted at this site every day, new ones every day. So if you want to use that and go look for some articles in case you're stumped, but really Daily Geo would be a good resource primarily for pre-service teachers because it's a whole plethora of articles. Whereas the best thing for those of you who are not pre-service teachers is to do a search based upon your major. And so that would your major and the article. And so I am going to, this is a good place to stop recording. And so this recording will be available to you